Hey everybody, we went over the title page and I want to go over the some basics of your APA article right now, okay? So we talked about that the title of the article, just like it was on the title page, should be repeated at the top of this page. And it should be bold just like it was there. Then you should have your left aligned margin, right? We got it left aligned. We're using our indents when we start a paragraph. Now, I would say this. Try not to do one sentence paragraphs. You just got a sentence by itself, put it with another paragraph somewhere. Okay? So, student papers don't require the running head. The new format leaves off the words running head too. You just have to include the title in all caps, and it should be abbreviated, not the whole title. But we don't have to do them, so why do it if you don't have to, right? Double space everything. There shouldn't be an extra space anywhere except in that very first title page. Nothing else. We don't need an abstract. We don't need author notes. Just start your paper on page 2. And remember that we did insert and page number, and we put it in the top right corner where it belongs. So it'll be on all our pages now, right where it goes. All right, double space, no extra except that title page that one time. The first page is page 2. The title of the paper is in title case, and that means it's bold, it's centered, and it's upper and lower case. Each word starts with a cap. Okay. Um, so the first paragraph after your title here ought to be your introduction. Introduction. However, you do not have to put a header that says introduction because, number one, we know what it is because of its location, right? And number two, then you'd have two headers back to back, and you really don't need that, even though the title is not technically a header. So you don't need to have a header for introduction. We know it by where it is. If you put one, I don't really count all. I just want you to use headers, and if it helps, put it. But APA says no. Okay? All right. So your headings ought to include everything that's required in your paper, and we'll talk some more about that. But right now, here's where we started, and here's what you need to remember. It should be left aligned. Remember, we looked at how to left align. Left align. We showed how to double space. We are indenting. We're going to talk about the level headings below. Don't start a new page or add extra line breaks when a new heading is needed. Just let it drop. When you enter, type the heading, push enter, keep going. Don't add extra space. Remember how to remove all this extra space. Look, there's extra space. No, I haven't done that on here. And we're just using double. And we're not even using hang in right now, so I'm going to delete that too. Everything's good there, right? All right. So this is not double space, but that's okay. All right. It'll double spaced it right there. So page number we got 12-point font. We got 1-inch margins. Remember that. A line to the left. Remember that. Your right margin, as you see here, is going to be kind of jagged, and that's okay. That's what we want. If you try to center this, it puts too many extra spaces and spreads it all out, and that's not good. Okay. The introduction isn't needed. Remember, the last line of that introductory paragraph ought to be the purpose of this paper is to, and state the purpose of your paper. Points are deducted if you don't state the purpose of your paper. All right, we're in edition 7 of APA, and these are your levels of headings. Now, primarily we use level 1, and it's just like the title of the paper. but a level 1 heading, which means that every requirement in your assignment ought to be a level 1 heading. So you center, you bold, you use upper and lower case, and that's your title case heading. And then you enter down in your double spacing, indent your paragraph, and start typing. Should you want to break up that level 1 topic for some reason, then you would use a level 2 heading underneath that. And that one is the same as level 1, but it's with the margin on the left, flush left. Few times we may use a level 2 heading, but rarely. And I almost never use 4 and 5. So that's it, right? These are the pages in the book and the sample paper in the book that are great resources for you to use. Okay. So the following parts of an APA paper: the title page with only the number in the top right corner. Use that insert page number and it will do it. The first page repeats the title at the top, bold, upper and lower case, centered. Introduction isn't labeled, so we just know it by its location. Make sure you include the purpose of this paper is to. Body of the paper should use APA level headings for all the criteria that you have to meet in your rubric for the paper. And every paper should have a conclusion, and it should have a heading, and the conclusion should show what you did in the paper. Answer the purpose. Did you meet the purpose? Why or why not? Explain. So that's your conclusion. No new information, no new resources go in the conclusion. This is reviewing, summarizing what's been done. And then your last header, also a level 1, center and bold, is your reference list. And it should say references. And it should be centered, bold, start with a cap. And your references are there. Now to put your references in, they need to start on a new page. And so in this case, when we start our references, we'd go to our insert and we do a page break. So our references always start on a new page. I'm not going to do that here. All right. That's another talk for another time. Here's another little bit. Punctuation, space once after periods. And most punctuation, there are just a few exceptions, but primarily you want one space after words, one space after punctuation. You want one space. That's it for now. Thanks for listening.